Hi there, Modern World History students. Since I did not have anyone attend our Zoom this morning, I just wanted to take a quick moment and run through what has been expected of you this week and then what today's material is about. So I saw a few of you guys watched my video from the other day, so thank you so much for that. I'm going to go ahead and go into Schoology, go to our class. Hopefully you guys can see this. And I don't know if you got my message or not, but I have a very big project that's due at the end of April, and it goes in front of the entire committee of research for my university. And the whole project is based on like student learning and growth and all of that. So, but in order to do that, you have to sign a waiver. So the waivers are here in this required materials folder if you want to print them and sign them. If you don't have a printer, I can print one out and send it home for you, whatever that might be. But it's not any extra work to participate in my study, but it would mean a lot to me. I know some of you don't even know me, but it would be a lot. It would do a lot for me if you'd be willing to help out. So let me know if you're interested in doing that for me. Because I need to do it to graduate. But anyway, so let's get to this week. We've been learning about absolutism. The last time I checked under Google Forms, nobody turned this in, but if you want to, you can still do it. The Google Slides campaign poster project, very simple. It's like 3 slides. You have to watch a video and then create your own campaign poster over an absolute monarch. So if you want any help with that, just let me know. Then there's a Google form review over what absolute monarchs are. If you've been doing the readings and videos, that's pretty easy to fill out as well. Yesterday, I saw 1 or 2 of you turned in your Native American guided video notes, which is great, so thank you for that. It was like a 10-minute TED Talk, and just kind of made you question the Native American perspective of this time period and today. And then I'm going to read to you the reasons for colonization and mercantilism. And then tomorrow you have a current event. So let me go ahead and read the materials to you. I'll let you look over the current event requirements, and then you can just let me know if you have any specific questions. I don't have any required or mandatory Zooms for tomorrow, but please don't forget that I do have open tutoring tomorrow from 10 a.m. to noon, and that's been the same schedule since August. Okay, so let's go to absolute monarchies, and you don't even have to answer any questions. If you just want to listen to me story tell, that's today's assignment. Okay, so this is here for you if you want to follow along or you want to print it out, maybe highlight with it. I just want to go over some information with you. Again, I'll be quick. So thank you for your patience. And I know this isn't always the most exciting way to learn, but I do appreciate you if you are watching these. So, all right, so the age of exploration, you guys know all about Christopher Columbus, and he sailed the seas, and I know that you're familiar with Native Americans, but let's talk about several different European nations that come together to colonize and eventually dominate the world. So many of the monarchs in Europe had overflowing treasuries to ensure their empires were sustained for centuries to come. However, most European wealth was claimed. Therefore, new lands were needed that contained vast wealth in the form of renewable natural resources. Originally, the rulers of Spain, France, and England financed voyages to Asia. However, this was an arduous journey that did not always guarantee results. In search of a faster route to Asia, Christopher Columbus, sailing under the Spanish flag of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, mapped a new world, quote unquote, new world. Although Columbus failed to find Asia, he did discover a new land that solved economic goals for the monarchs. Furthermore, this new land solved other problems plaguing Europe: overpopulation and religious persecution. This new land was full of adventure and opportunity. The call to explore the New World was heeded by European megapowers who included England, Spain, France, and the Netherlands, all of who competed for the land and riches that had gone undisturbed for several millennia. England, probably the most famous of these European countries to colonize. Though Spain had charted the New World, it was English Queen Elizabeth I who took the reins of exploration and colonization. They had an abundance of fur and tobacco because they couldn't find gold on the eastern coast. Elizabeth allowed for permanent settlements. In fact, one of the first settlements was Jamestown, right? Nonetheless, they were not deterred in their quest to bring glory and honor to the English monarchy. They searched for gold, silver, and other natural resources that could be exploited for economic gain. But they also engaged in fur and tobacco trading. Tobacco will be their cash crop for profit. The establishment of these colonies led to a new area being called New England and quickly became a haven for religious and politically persecuted. England was the only empire that allowed explorers and colonists in conflict with the crown to leave the country. So really, they're kind of like refugees, if you think about it. Once the settlers left the country, they needed a government body. While the monarch was still head of the government, the colonists were several thousands of miles from a lawmaking body and needed efficient ways to ensure the success of their colony. Therefore, the colonists will design and implement a self-government. This is where citizens elected leaders to represent the needs of the English government. Then we have Spain. Spain, a seat of Catholic power, was one of the wealthiest and therefore most powerful European country of this time frame. To maintain its political, economic, and religious stronghold, the monarch sent explorers to claim and colonize uninhabited regions of the New World. Much of the land was concentrated in modern-day Florida, with St. Augustine being the first permanent European settlement. The Spanish monarch chose the political leaders of the new settlement, who abided the laws and religious doctrines set forth for the mother country, the mother country. Catholic missionaries. So we learned about the reasons why people explored and colonized. Remember, religion or God is one of them. Missionaries were sent to the new colonies. They called it New Spain because, super genius, super original here, to convert the Native Americans to Catholicism. Missions were built in the southern half of North America to ensure a conversion process would root and spread. Furthermore, Native Americans shared the secrets of the New World with missionaries. These secrets exposed the valuable natural resources like gold, silver, and other gems. This will exponentially increase the Spanish treasury. Then we have France. While Spain and England were building colonies in North America, France was also claiming land in what we call today Canada and northeastern United States. This region later became known as, wait for it, New France. French merchants wanted the wealth derived from the beaver fur trade. So I think it's kind of funny because you think about like our drips or our fits, right? Well, back in the day, wearing a fur hat was really popular in Europe. So they took on the fur business trade with Native Americans. And the French arguably had the nicest relationship with natives. Like there was a level for a majority of these relationships to be very respectful and civil. So that allowed for them to be successful. So fur trade, right? This economic game pushed merchants to start new colonies in North America. These colonies stayed under the control of the French king, therefore self-government did not exist. In time, Quebec became the first French settlement in North America. In the 1630s, French Catholic missionaries began arriving to New France. These missionaries often lived with Native Americans and learned their languages. The aim of the missionaries was to convert the Native Americans to the Catholic religion. Some fur traders also lived with Native Americans. They learned their languages and ways of life. Since traders spent much of their time trapping and hunting, they did not build long-lasting settlements. Unlike the Spanish and English colonies, New France grew slowly as French citizens held no interest to the New World. However, those that did settle did most so in the region known as Louisiana and did not really venture out. Last but not least, the Dutch. The Dutch citizens of Netherlands saw the success of the English colonies and began their own colony in modern-day New York and New Jersey, but they will call it the New Netherlands. The colony, also called New Amsterdam, after the city of Amsterdam in Netherlands. The city built next to the Hudson River provided economic opportunity in the form of trade. Ships sailed to and fro, delivering and selling furs to other suppliers. Eventually, New Amsterdam was taken over by the English and will be renamed as New York. So this is just a glimpse of some of the main European nations that colonized the Americas. So I know in my other video, I talked about how more specifically they will eventually dominate the entire world, but I think it's important to focus at least a little bit on the relationship and impact that colonization had on the Americas. I think that's equally as important as learning about these other places around the world. So that's what you're learning this week. Thank you. If you spent time listening to me, I will go.